What's up, guys? Happy Thursday. A little late, running a little bit late. Sorry about that. I am going to get online here with my operations manager, Maggie Ecklund. She'll be on here in a second. I'm excited to have her on, talk about our journey together over the last 12 months. What's up, RC Repo Sedas? What's going on? Where are you coming from? Let me know. Let's see here. Maggie's going to be on here in a second. Hope, Pano or Payne Hope Pedro. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. Let me know if you guys are where you guys are coming from, which part of LA. If you guys have any questions about real estate, I'm going to have my assistant Maggie here. I'm going to text her and have her come on with me. Let's see here. I'm going to have Maggie. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. What's up, TW Real Estate, Tulsa, Oklahoma? How's real estate in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Vivi Consultaria Inmobiliaria. Is that, are you in somewhere in Latin America? We got Jen Chapman, NYC. I know where you're from. Let me know where you guys are coming from. How's the market over there? If you have any questions, my mom is on from Bogota, Colombia. She's back in town after being here for 3 months. Hi, Mom. Oh, Portugal. I've never been to Portugal. I want to go to, is it called Nazarene, where they have the biggest surf waves in the world? That looks like fun. Ellen, what's up? Ellen Priscilla, how are you? It's great. Nice. What's the average price point out there in Tulsa? Let me see where my assistant's at. She says she's ready, but she's not on here. Let me give her a call. While I'm waiting for Maggie to get on, hey, I'm here on IG Live. Yes. Okay, sounds good. Bye. All right, Maggie says she's on her way, so we'll see her in a second. Yes, Nazarene. I want to go there. Missing you. Happy to be here. Oh, nice, Mom. I'm missing you too. Thanks for coming out, and we had a great time. I'm not having any drinks today. I had a couple drinks yesterday for the inauguration. So today I'm drinking water. I just finished having a really good meeting with somebody who wants to break into the real estate market. He's about 19 years old, and so we have a plan set up to kind of help each other out, which is great. All right, Maggie's on. Let's bring her on. Here we go. Let's see here. Martin Castro. Hello. What's up, Maggie?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Oh, you know what? I forgot my AirPods. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
All right.
I thought I was ready. We got some people on. My mom's on.
Oh, hi.
We got Kylie Johnson is on. Martin Castro, Bro Center is on.
Hi, everybody.
What's up? What's up? So if you guys don't know, unless you saw the story, but Maggie is the operations manager of the Paul Salazar group.
Mm-hmm.
She joined the team last year, literally a week before the shutdown here in Los Angeles. I think her first day was like March the 4th.
It was.
And then like on the 16th of March, the shutdown happened, and we were in the middle of a real estate conference, and that was crazy. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? And my mom says, "Hola, Maggie."
Hi, how are you?
So it was quite interesting because it was kind of scary, to kind of think of like bringing on my first employee, and
Yeah.
right during a pandemic. It was like, what's going to happen here? It was really early on, so we didn't know what the deal was. But at that point, it was everything was shut down, restaurants, everything. We were at a conference, and I think did the conference get canceled, or we still went? I think the conference still went on.
Yeah, I think the second day we were there, and then they were like, we have to shut down. Like, we can't keep going.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was such a bummer because that was like your first real estate conference. It was a Tom Ferry event with Jeff Mays, who's now my coach, which is kind of cool.
I
Kind of a
know.
story. But also during that time, we signed our biggest listing for 6.5 million or $7 million.
7. It was 7.
Yeah, so that was really fun. And we ended up double ending that deal a couple months later, so that was really fun. So it was that deal actually helped us throughout the entire year last year. I mean, that was a huge,
It really did.
yeah, yeah. All right, so the reason why I wanted to bring Maggie in is because I know that a lot of agents that follow me, they're either new agents or they're kind of new to the business. And hiring an assistant, hiring an operations manager to help you out with your business is a huge leap. And Julie Cohen and Mac Lauren, hello. Let me know where you guys are coming from. If you guys have any questions about real estate, about my business, about how I brought Maggie on, please let us know. We're going to talk about her journey with the Paul Salazar Group, how I hired her, what our day-to-day is like, what our meetings are like. That way you get an idea of, how to, maybe we'll give you some tips, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, for me, it was a big step. Oh, hey, St. Louis, Missouri, what's up? For me, it was a big step because it's a lot of money. You have to pay somebody, and they're relying on you to make deals so that they can, survive. So it was a lot of pressure, and it was a big step. But I had to close like a $3 million deal, and I made like 60 grand. And I was like, all right, this money is just for my new employee. And my coach at the time, Mary Jet. Oh, what's up, Dino? Dino is one of my friends from Semester at Sea. Real nice guy. He's actually buying a house right now in San Diego. So anyway, I know I'm getting a little distracted right now. That's how I am at work. Maggie's like, Paul, focus.
We always get it done though.
Yes, that's true. So my coach at the time, Mary Jet, was like, you need an assistant if you want to grow, because the year before that, I was doing pretty well. I had like 3 or 4 escrows. I had I think it was like $10 million in escrow, and I didn't prospect during that time. So from that time, I think it was like 3 months later, I had no new deals, no new prospects, right? So in order to grow your business, you have to continue prospecting every single day and not stop, right? And so in order to do that, and you have a lot of escrows, you need help, and that's where Maggie comes in. Oh, we got who's Emmett? Is that one of your friends?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi, Emmett.
I
Lynn, Tony.
have a bunch of friends watching. Feel
Oh, what's
famous.
up? What's up? I want to hear all of it, Julie says. Awesome. All right. Well, if you stay on, we're going to tell you the whole story.
Hmm.
So anyway, I was really scared, and I was like, I don't know, like, how do I manage a person? Like, what's the process of hiring him? Like, how do I know? Like, I heard all these bad stories about other agents, going through, 5 or 6 assistants, operations managers, and having to, fire them, or they just, didn't do a good job. So they're just kind of wasting time. And onboarding somebody is really difficult, especially if they're new to the business, right? And Maggie, straight out of college,
Brand new.
yeah, brand new. I mean, she just had, finished graduating from Gonzaga. Her goal was to come to LA and become a real estate agent. So it really was the right fit. But, before I hired her, I did a lot of research, right? I did a lot of research. I listened to a lot of podcasts that talked about hiring an assistant and like what the process is like, right? So one thing I use is Wise Hire. So if you guys are looking for any help and like local help, like an assistant that lives in your city. I mean, obviously you can go on Upwork and find virtual assistants. That's much different. But if you want somebody on the ground to help you out, Wise Hire is a great way to find people. And the reason why I like them, they're only I think $100, right? And the reason why I like them is because they weed out a lot of the bad applicants. When I posted my job, I had over 110 applications. So you can imagine, like, I was like, oh my gosh, who am I going to interview? Like, it's a lot of people, right? But the good thing about Wise Hire is that they already have different kind of tests for the applicants. So the applicant obviously submits the resume, and the job application goes out to, I think, a lot of websites. Where did you find the application at, Maggie? Or the
Indeed,
job?
I think.
Indeed.
Indeed. Yeah, or Glassdoor. I was looking on both.
Okay, gotcha. Hold on, let me see. TW Real Estate says, when you started out, which type of prospecting works best for you? The best type of prospecting is going to be cold calling or door knocking, or your past clients, right? That's the best way to do it. Or I mean, open houses. Since we can't really do them right now, it's not really an easy thing. Or you can buy Zillow leads as well. All right, so let's continue. So I used Wise Hire. I had 110 applications. I'm like, all right, how am I going to get through all these? Who am I going to find that is going to be the right fit for, for my team and my culture? Um, and they made every applicant do a disc profile test. And a disc profile test will eliminate, I think it eliminated, I think 80% of the people. So out of the 110, I might have had maybe 25 applicants that I'm like, all right, I'll take you to the next step. And the good thing about WiseHire is that it was like Trello, Maggie, where it's like you
Yeah.
have all the applicants and you can move them from point one to point two, point three, point four, point five, right? So that's what I did, and Maggie had an amazing resume. She really was smart in having a nice presented resume, right? I mean, her qualifications weren't the best because she was brand new, right? So like,
Yeah.
I was, ideally I wanted somebody with a little bit of experience, but I'm like, she looks super sharp. I mean, it was the best resume I saw.
Thanks.
And that's crazy to me because if you're looking for a job, you think that you would put your best foot forward, right?
Yeah.
And that really wasn't the case. All right, hold on. Was there anything you saw in applications that stood out to you? Ellen, for me, it was the DISC profile, right? So Wise Hire, again, makes every applicant do a DISC profile test. I think it takes like 20 or 30 minutes, Maggie, right? Around there.
Yeah. My friend commented, "Hi, Mackenzie."
Maggie is incredible. Oh, that's cute.
Right back at you. She's a fellow redhead.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So, so not only, with the DISC profile, it'll tell you if this applicant is excellent, if they're good, if they're okay, or if they're bad, right? So anybody had a bad DISC profile, even if they have a good resume, I'm going to throw them out, right? Because if their personality isn't going to fit the job title, then I don't want them working with me. And that's the reason why you have to trust these tests, right? So Maggie, I think scored excellent or great on that, which is good. And then she had a great resume, right? I mean, I think, out of all the applications, I think maybe 20% of them had like a really nice resume. And Maggie's really stood out. It was very clean, very professional. One page had a photo of her, so I knew what she looked like, right? And then from there, anybody who went through the second phase, I think there was like 3 or 4 phases that I did. So the next phase was the 5.
No, it's 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, gotcha.
It felt like 5. I was very nervous the
It
whole
was a
time.
lot. It was a lot. Oh, what's up, Alexa? Let me see. Who else we got? Kylie.
Yeah.
Are these all your friends, Maggie?
Yeah.
Nice. That's fun. Oh, hello, hello.
Thanks to all my fans.
Yes, yes. Thanks for joining. So all right. So then we would. Okay. So the next phase was a phone call. So I called you on the phone, right?
Yeah.
We had a quick phone interview. I think it was like 3 questions, and after that, after that, I can really weed out, people, like if they sound like they're, not my fit or they just didn't sound competent for the job, then I wouldn't move them on to the next phase. The next phase after that was a video, correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So this is a Tom Ferry thing. He says, make them take a video of themselves and have them explain what their best attributes are or why they would be good at the job position. Right?
Yeah. Your 3 reasons why you would be a good assistant.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So Maggie had a phenomenal video, and I said, all right, great. Let's move on to the next step, which was an in-person interview.
Mm-hmm.
So out of 110 applications, I think I went down. I think I only interviewed like 4 or 5 people. I think I'm not sure exactly, but there wasn't a lot. So that alone was all through WiseHire. If it wasn't through WiseHire, I wouldn't know who to interview, right? But because of the DISC profile, and then because of the resume that Maggie made, I was able to weed out a lot of people. And then I did a phone call, and a video, and then an interview. After the first interview, I basically knew who I was going to hire. I really had a good idea. I knew it was you. I wasn't going to tell you that. Because, I really wanted to, put you through a couple more interviews as well. So after that, I was like, all right, how am I going to weed out these next 3 people, even though I kind of knew that you were a good fit. So you had an interview with JJ, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha. So if you guys watched my second to last one, IG Live, was with JJ, who's my girlfriend, and she used to run a mortgage company. Not run it, but she was the HR, so she would hire all the people at that company. And so she really, understood how to, read people and all that stuff. So I set up JJ and Maggie to meet for coffee, and JJ said, "She looks good." So I said, great. So I was not done there yet. I didn't want to give you the job there yet. I said, let's have another interview, right?
Yes.
And then at that point, that's when I said, Maggie, boom, let's start. So
Yeah.
that was the interview process. I think it was like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it was about a week and a half.
A week and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And in that time frame, I also read a book, which I think I have right here, and it was, yes, here it is. Again, I was really nervous about hiring an assistant because the last thing I wanted to do is to train somebody for 2 or 3 months, have them leave, or me just be frustrated over their attitude towards the job, or just they're just not the right fit for me, right?
Yeah.
So I really did a lot of research. I also read this book, Your World Class Assistant,
Oh yeah.
by Michael Hyatt, a really really good book, talking about hiring, training, and leveraging an assistant. And so anybody who's looking to hire any help, I think this is a phenomenal book. It gives you really good tools. I think maybe Wise Hire came from here, but there's a lot of good tools here to use. And I also had Maggie read this book before she started with me, and I asked her to take down notes on the book, so I knew that she read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
that was
think that was also good too because it's like, okay, this is your first task. Like, can you do it?
yeah.
And take notes on time.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So now that I've talked the entire time, why don't you talk about your point of view of the interview process?
Um, where do I start? Well, as the person who was being interviewed, it I think it was really good because it made me respect you as the person who was hiring me because I'm like, he takes this serious, he's taking me serious, and he doesn't want to waste his time or money. And I knew that by going through all of those steps, if I made it through that, like you really like me, we were gonna last, and and we were a good fit. Whereas I feel like in other jobs I've had in the past, one interview, and I get the job, I'm like, okay, thank you, but I didn't really get to know them that well. They didn't really get to know me that well, and I had never been in that situation where it wasn't just one interview, it wasn't just one video, it was multiple, and I feel like the bottom line was like, okay, this guy's serious. He's a professional. And it also made me realize, like, okay, like this is a big, big job. Like, he's not just doing one interview. And so I feel like it made me more excited and it made me want it even more. And
Yeah.
it really, it's like a mental test. Like, you were talking about the video about recording your 3 reasons for being a good assistant.
Mhm.
That took me, I mean, it was like what, a minute long? It
Yeah.
took me like over 2 hours
Wow.
to record. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that
Yeah.
you were committed to the position as well, because a lot of people, even if they had a good disc profile and a good resume, I get on, like I would schedule a phone call with them and then they wouldn't answer the phone. I'm like, you didn't answer the phone. I told you exactly what time I was going to call you. I called you at that time. You didn't answer the phone. I'm done. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think somebody would be a good fit to be an assistant if they don't answer the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. That video was hard because
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, he's never seen me before. Like, are these actually good reasons? I researched the reasons. I really thought about it and like, does this make sense? Is that really who I am? And then I had to record it like, I don't even know how many times, probably
Yeah.
100 times.
Yeah. 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 That was
But I would say bottom line, going through all those steps just really made me respect you, and it made me realize like I really do want this. Whereas I feel like sometimes if you see a job or if somebody sees a job out there and they go, that might be a good fit, and you do one interview and you think, okay, maybe, but by putting someone through all of those steps, it makes them think too, like,
yeah.
is this a good fit for me? You know? So I think that was the smartest decision you could have made is one, going through Wise Hire and having them do the disc profiles for you,
Hmm.
and then doing the other steps as well. Because
Yeah.
it just, I don't know. I just think it saves you time in the end,
For
and
sure. It
something I
does.
learned
It
in
does.
college too.
Yeah.
Yeah, time and money because it's expensive, one, to have me, and two, it's expensive to train somebody. That's time that you could be doing
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah, for sure. So you do more work in the front end. That way you save time and money on the long end, right? Because
Exactly.
again, when we were at the operations edge for the Tom Ferry thing, we heard a lot of the stories of people saying that they've gone through so
I
many
know.
different assistants, operations managers, and they just weren't happy with him, and they would spend 6 months, a year with them, and they would leave them, and it just wasn't a good fit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and it just got me scared. I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't want that to happen. So I really took it very seriously, and I
Yeah.
think you can see from our relationship, it's been really really good. We've
Yeah.
been together for almost a year now. It'll be a year in March, and we've done some amazing things already, which is great. So now that we talked about the interview process, let's see if there's any questions. Ellen says, what kind of things do you do as an assistant? We'll talk about that in a second. Do you get to work leads? And we'll talk about that in a second. We got Claire. We got Tabby Webb.
Tabby.
What do you
Yeah,
have?
I went to high school with her.
Oh, hi, Tabby.
And I know
Christine.
Claire too.
Oh, nice. Hi, Claire. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming. And also, Kano's here as well. I'll see you next week.
Hey, Kano.
Oh, we got my brother Danny here, who's going to be printing up our nice brochures pretty soon. So I'm excited for that. PSA group, what's up? All right, so let's talk about the next phase, right? So once I had you hired, now it's like, all right, how do I train you? That way that so that you can help me at that point, right? Because
Yeah.
training is really it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Especially you knew nothing about real estate. I mean, yes, you knew about Hilton and Hyland. I mean, you were obsessed about luxury real estate, which I loved, right? I mean, you really had a goal. I mean, your goal was to get at Hilton and Hyland, and obviously that helped me. I mean, I was not at Keller Williams, and nothing bad about Keller Williams, but
Yeah.
Hilton Hyland is a premier luxury brokerage here in Los Angeles, and so being part of the firm, there's aspiring agents like Maggie who want to get in the door, right? So it was a good fit. So I was going to say, oh yeah, the onboarding process.
Yeah.
So the onboarding process took a while, and we're still going through it. But I feel like Maggie's basically, taking care of a lot of things now, right? And we've closed multiple escrows, so she understands a lot of the escrows. Although she's got a ton of questions still, and that's completely fine, right? I always tell Maggie, if you have any questions about anything, let me know, right?
Yeah.
And if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. No, it's not a big deal. It can always be fixed, right? So what we did is before the shutdown, we were going to the office and we were meeting every single day for a few hours, I believe. And then I would
half the day.
Half the day, yeah. So I would go half the day, and we would go over some basic things. And I think I might have had like a checklist of like some of the systems like the MLS, how to write contracts and all that stuff. So anything I taught Maggie, we recorded on GoToMeeting or Zoom. And so even if I was with her, we would record it so they can hear my voice, and we would do a screen share recording. And then we would upload that video onto Google Drive. That way, if she had any questions about how to pull comps, how to look up active listings, how to get any kind of stats on the MLS, how to do contracts, how to do a purchase contract, how to do a listing, how to do a lease listing, how to do anything that has to do with contract. All that stuff, right? All those things that you do on the computer, we recorded that. We you can hear the audio and the screen on it. That way, if she had any questions, she can go back on Google Drive and look at the video instead of asking me. Because at that point, if I'm helping her half the day, the other half of the day, I have to look for business. I have to process.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. We got Jenny says hi. Web2INV, maybe Web2 Investments says hi. Ken's Dorn, Pearl Perez. Are these all your friends, Maggie? You got a lot of friends.
And
yeah,
fans.
Yeah. All right, so that was the onboarding, right? So we really had a bunch of things to go over, and I think that probably took a few months. The good thing is that it was slow because of COVID, which is not a great thing, but it actually worked to our benefit because we were able to really just go down deep into learning all the systems and learning how to do the things that I wanted you to take care of.
Yeah.
And then so now let's talk about your day-to-day, right? First, let's talk about our systems.
Yeah.
We use Trello. Trello is a phenomenal system. Actually, why don't you talk about Trello? Because I'm taking all the video time.
No, it's good. Trello is great because it's super, super user friendly. There really isn't training involved. And for us, it just keeps us organized because like so on Trello, you'll have to check it out, but you have different boards for different things. So we have one labeled tasks, and then on there we have Paul's tasks, Maggie's tasks, and then doing and done. And then we have an archive section as well. And so throughout the day, I write down what my tasks are, and then if I'm working on them, I put them there. And Paul and I are both visual people, so we have to be able to see these things. And when we see them in doing, we're like, okay, we know it's in progress, like we're working on it. And then once I'm done with it, I slide it over to the done board. And then at the end of the day or the next morning, Paul and I will go over what's in the done section, and then we'll decide, okay, is it really done? Is there still more that needs to be done for that? If it's done, we put it in archive. If it's not done, we put it back in doing. And then I go back and finish up whatever it is it needs that day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We absolutely love Trello. So that's just the actual task. We
Yeah.
also have goals. So
Yeah.
we have daily goals, we have weekly goals, and we have monthly goals.
Yeah.
The monthly goals dictate the weekly goals, and the weekly goals dictate the daily goals, right? So every single morning, I'm up super early, Maggie's up also super early, and depending on which day it is, we either have our meeting either at 7:30 in the morning, or we have it now I think at 8:30, and we've kind of played around with the different times, because I want to figure out what the best time is to prospect here in Los Angeles for expireds.
Yeah.
So we've kind of toyed around. We were doing 8 o'clock for a long time, and I was like, you know what, let me try calling it 8 instead of 8:30, 8:45. So anyway, so we'll do a half-hour meeting, maybe sometimes 45 minutes, just kind of depending on like what's on the workload that day. Maggie gets it done, says Mac. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Mackenzie.
How to pronounce that last name without saying it bad. The Bay Agent, what's up? My mom says great information, lots to learn from you guys. Oh, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. The new homes, Ellie's Stefanova says Trello really good. So our
The
goals.
goals.
So every morning, our morning meeting consists of talking about what task you finished the day before. So we'll go on the task board, look at all the done. We'll review it. I'll move it to archived. If it's still pending, there's also like a pending one, which are things that she's done, but we're kind of waiting on a response from somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. Then we'll go to the goal section, and we'll say, all right, these are daily goals. Are 3 things that we need to get done today. And obviously, we always want those things to get done. So sometimes they're not done because we get it's crazy. It's real estate, so things happen.
Yeah.
But those are ideal goals for the day. And then obviously we got our weekly and our monthly goals.
Yeah.
Every Monday morning, we have a Monday morning meeting, which will dictate the weekly goals. We got Mark Medina here. What's up, Mark? Mark's our title officer.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Adrian.
We have AD7.
Adrian. That's Ishmael's friend.
Oh, Adrian. What's up, Adrian? Ishmael's friend?
Yeah.
Okay, so the morning meetings I think are super, super crucial, because now that Maggie knows how to do almost everything that I want her to do, it's like all we do is have our morning meeting. After that, all we do is talk on Slack. And then we get on the phone every once in a while, but I'm on the phones the first 3 or 4 hours of the day, so I don't want to be on the phone with Maggie, because then that takes time away from prospecting. You know? Mark says, I love you guys. We love you too, Mark. Lisa Sia from the Hamptons. What's up, Lisa? Hamptons real estate. I've never been there, but I'm sure that's some nice real estate right there.
I'm also going to bring my phone with me to turn on my AC, so excuse me, everybody.
Okay, yeah, go do it. We don't want you sweating over there, Maggie.
Oh my gosh, it's LA. It's getting hot.
All right, so let's talk about, we talked about Trello, we talked about the task board, which is great. We talked about the goals board, which is great. Our Monday meetings, we'll talk about how our weekend was, right? So, it's not always about business. We also want to talk about our personal life too. It's also really important. On our Monday morning meetings, we talk about our KPIs, our key performance indicators from the previous week. So on my board over here in my office, my home office, I have how many contacts I've made per day, how many appointments I've made per day, and then Maggie puts that into a spreadsheet, and then we track our numbers, right? So because I have a business coach, they want us to track all of our numbers. Let's see here. You have to come to the Hamptons. I do. I really want to come to the Hamptons. Ellie Stefanova says, very smart goal setup. You are really helpful. You're welcome. And hello, Emma Larissa. Um, all right. So Monday morning meetings. What else do we talk about Monday morning meetings? Oh, we talk about our social media schedule, and this is not
Yeah.
something I'm being consistent with, and that's something that I'm still working on. Is I want to do a quick, 30 to 60-second video every single day. Monday motivation, Tuesday is driving with Paul, Wednesday is market update, Thursday is the IG live, and Friday is like a lifestyle, like TGIF kind of fun, me sailing, restaurant,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Big fan of Maggie. Who's that? Is that one of your friends?
That's my friend Emma. Yeah.
Oh, what's up?
Thanks, Emma.
We got my brother Louis here. What's up, bro? Okay, so let's talk about our monthly meetings, which are really, really powerful meetings, and we
Yeah.
do it either on the 31st, like either the end of the month or the beginning of the new month, depending on the weekend or like the week, right, in our
Yeah.
schedule. And it's usually in between like a 3 to 4 hour meeting,
Hmm.
and we have a list of things that we go over. We
Yeah.
have a running Google Doc
Hmm.
that talks about it has all these questions, right? So we just go through every single question, and we talk about Maggie. Why don't you talk about what we talk about there?
Well, we have a list. I feel like it's between 20 to 30 things each month.
Mhm.
And we have a template, so we just copy and paste that, and it's a rolling, like Paul said, it's a rolling document. So a lot of them are the same, and then sometimes throughout the month I'll say, hey, add this to the monthly meeting agenda, and it might be another project or another goal we want to work on and
Yeah,
discuss, and so I'll put that at the end. So we have the month, and then we always go back and look at the last month, what we accomplished, what our wins and results were for that month.
yeah,
And then we go on to say, okay, we did this, maybe we didn't finish one thing.
mhm,
I feel like we pretty much always accomplish our goals. There are
yeah,
some
yeah,
things that I feel like maybe are out of our control.
yeah,
But then, yeah, we go along and we say, okay, well, what are our top goals for this month? And then from there, as we talked about earlier with Trello, we can go talk about our goals, and then we say, okay, that's our monthly goal. We have three, usually three or four.
yeah,
And then we go, okay, how are we going to reach those goals like every week? What steps is it going to take? And then
mhm,
daily goals come from that.
yeah.
So
Exactly, exactly,
that's,
and yeah, and
yeah,
and so that's a great explanation. I think the big thing about the monthly meeting is how we celebrate our wins. I think
yeah,
it's so important. It's so powerful to look back and say, "Wow, you were able to customize Salesforce," which is
yeah,
like that's super super hard. Like I feel like that was one of your biggest wins when you first started. I said, "Hey Maggie, we have a CRM that I got. I paid a lot of money, and I don't know how to use it."
yeah, I
I
know.
said, figure it out, and this is what I want. And she was able to do that, and that was a really big win, and it really gave you confidence to
Yeah,
do anything because that's not easy. Like customizing a CRM on Salesforce is not easy. We were looking at hiring somebody, and we didn't find anybody that we liked. So you're like, you know what? Why don't I take care of it? And you did, which is great. So looking back at the goals is super powerful because you gain confidence for the next set of goals, right?
yeah,
And they're not just goals; they're more projects, right? So
yeah,
right now, our goals this year is I want to join a Toastmasters goal. That's one of my goals. I want to get better at public speaking, which will help me on the phones and also help me at listing appointments and help me on video as well. The other goals for this month are Maggie. We want to hit 200 conversations, I believe.
yeah.
We want to get a few listings. There's a bunch. What are the other ones for this month?
Well, we are working on hiring somebody for our social media ads, not just our social media and overall.
Mhm.
And then our other one is to hire somebody to help us with cold calling.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So we're looking currently for an inside sales agent, an ISA, somebody
Hmm.
who speaks really good English. I don't care where they're from, as long as they speak really good, almost close to native English,
Yeah.
to call homeowners that have lived in houses over 20 years, which will be considered like a tear down, which could be a potential development opportunity. So every single month we got these three big projects, and every once in a while we don't get to them. That's okay, we'll finish them, but they're still on the docket. Like we still have to get those done, right?
Yeah.
And those are all really, really important. Sold by Rafi says, yes, cold calling.
Ishmael
KK,
said hi.
oh, where's Ishmael at?
He's you Jesus.
You Jesus, what's up, Ishmael? How are you, man? I've been sorry I couldn't see you this weekend. Next time you come over, we'll take you sailing for sure.
For sure.
KK Briss says my grandfather did Toastmasters. He was the best salesman. There you go. So I think that'll
There
help
we
me out.
go.
And then back what TJ just joined. So we're talking about our monthly goals. Yeah, so that's really important. We also talk about like how many new followers we have on Instagram
Yeah.
and Facebook and all that stuff. I think it's really important.
Hmm.
And I got this list from a lot of different people through the Tom Fair system, so I was able to
Yeah.
kind of curate what I really wanted in there. All right, so we talked about Trello. We talked about our weekly, and daily goals. Okay, let's talk about the other thing we use on Trello now, which is
I
our
do, I want to add something to the
Yes,
monthly meeting.
yeah,
It is important too, because it is just Paul and I during the monthly meeting and really every day. Like it is just him and I. So we're always checking in and saying what's working for you, what isn't. Because when it is just two people, communication is so important. And if something that I'm doing isn't working for Paul, I need to know, and then vice versa. So we always have those check-ins too. So of course it's about business, but we won't have our business if we aren't communicating effectively and talking about things that could be better or whatever it is. And so that's something important to note too when you have those monthly meetings, is making sure communication is open, and that if there's anything outside of business that has to be discussed, it's discussed.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
think I think one of our questions is how can we do a better job for the other person, right? Or like
Yeah.
like can I do anything differently to help you out, right? So
Yeah.
we always talk about that. That way, there's no like weird feelings or something. I say something wrong or you say something
Yeah.
wrong, and so it's a time for us to kind of let it like, put it all out on the table.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been on here for almost 40 minutes. Nice. A long IG live.
It's
Hopefully, you
good.
guys have some good content here and some good tips if you guys are looking to hire an operations manager. Hopefully, they're as good as Maggie. They're not easy to find. I can tell you that much. I just got lucky. It
Oh,
says, no biggie. I'm sure I'll meet you soon. Can't wait to go sailing. Sweet man. Yes, girl, your hair color is fire. Love that.
thank you so much.
What do I need to do to earn a lunch with you? Oh, please. We've already had lunch, Rafi. Get out of here. Love the IG Live, by the way. Sweet, man. Well, thanks for coming on for the first time. I appreciate it. All right, so
What else?
let's talk
Let's
about the
see.
customer service experience on Trello, and then afterwards, let's end on Slack and Google Drive.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
why don't you talk about that? Oh,
The,
my dad is watching too. What's up, Dad?
hi, the customer service experience.
Yes.
Okay, so, well, I feel like behind the scenes, what makes our customer service good is the fact that you have so many systems in order.
Yeah.
And a lot of that we can do on Trello. And so, like I was talking about earlier with Trello, you have different boards. And then on boards, you have lists. And those lists contain cards. And so, just like our task board where we have do, doing, and done, we have that for each property that we have as a listing. So right now we have 3 escrows, and which woohoo, and and so we have a do, doing, and done, and a notes list as well. So that contains any contact information for any parties involved, maybe a lockbox code, anything like that that you don't want to forget. Make sure that stuff is always written down, and it's helpful too because there's two of us. So say I hear something from the seller or Paul does, if we're both not on that call, put it on the notes board. That way we're not like, did you hear this? Did you hear that? It's
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So for doing, and done, we have templates. And this is all, like, if anybody needs help with learning how to use it, I could go on and on. But it's
Yes.
really not that hard.
She's a pro at Trello at this point.
Thank you. So we have all of the things we need for each part of the process. So we have the prospect list, and then we have so many, like escrow and close, like, just like all these different things. Like right now, like I was saying, we're in escrow, and so we have all these different things that need to be done throughout the process. So that helps me and Paul. Okay, it's still under due. We forgot to do one thing. Now I'll put it under doing. I'm writing that email to escrow or the seller, whoever it is. Once it's done, I put it over to the done board or
Yeah.
done list. So that's that. And then now we just created this new shared experience with the seller.
And the
So
buyer.
it's a board that we share with the seller. We invite them to be an observer. And from there we label each card. So it'll say either we're doing it or it's done. And then we also on that same board have links to the listing agreement and any other documents that are on the Google Drive for that transaction. So maybe inspection reports, all of the important dates in escrow. So the inspection contingency, loan contingency, and the close, there's many more involved, but that just at least gives the seller something to follow along with. Oh, thank you. Something to follow along with. And it helps us too because, it may be something that instead of a phone call, like they can just look there on the board and say, oh, it's in progress. Oh, it was done,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something that we just implemented this month, and it's been really helpful, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I
So
mean, I'm not sure if all clients will like it, but I feel
yeah,
like it just shows that we're at a different level, right? Because
yeah,
if they have any questions, like, hey, check out this link on Trello, and they're like,
yeah,
wow, it's more of like an impression. Like these guys know they're
exactly.
doing their pros, and obviously that's going to help out in the future with referrals. When they talk about their experience with our group, they can say, you know what, they're pros. I mean, everything is online, everything's super easy, a very smooth transaction, easy communication, all that stuff.
Right.
Let's talk about Slack.
You said Slack?
Yes, Slack.
Okay, Slack is the best thing right next to Trello.
Yeah.
At first, I had never, well, I guess I'd heard of Slack, like, people getting their jobs and they talk on Slack, but I just thought we would be texting, from day to day, thinking like,
Mhm.
what's important? What do we need to talk about? But Slack is really great because, well, for a lot of reasons. But for us, Paul and I mostly just direct message because it is just him and I. Well, we also have a social media manager as well, but for the most part, it's him and I. And so, what's helpful about Slack is that we can just put messages on there, and it's nice because you're not on your phone. Like, you can type from the computer, you can do it on your phone if you want. You can really do Slack anywhere. And then also, you can always go back up and search for a keyword or maybe a password that wasn't saved. You can go back and look through anything and find what you need. Whereas I feel like with text, things get lost in translation. So, and then aside from our direct messages, we have different channels on Slack. So we have a social media channel. We have, I don't actually know I forget the other
I
channels we
think I
have. We
think we're
never
just
use
using
them.
the social media one for now. But
Yeah,
obviously, as we grow, we'll have more. And the social media channel is great because now we have, our guy who runs our social media, and
right.
we have now a place to have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
Drop files. We can drop any kind of file on there: PDF, photos, videos, anything that you
yeah,
can think of. We can just drop on there. It's just a really good, system where you can kind of communicate with people. I think the only thing it lacks is like a voice recorder. I would love to have that, like the I know that iMessage has that where you can,
yeah,
if I'm driving, I don't want to type it, something out. I could just do like a quick little voice recorder. So that it doesn't have that, but I'm sure over time it'll be implemented. And hopefully with since Salesforce just bought Slack, they might have some cool implementation on Salesforce there too,
yeah,
to our CRM.
yeah,
And then our last system that we love to use is Google Drive, and
yes,
we save everything there, all of our
everything.
documents there. So whenever we have a new listing appointment, Maggie automatically knows what to do, which is great. She'll save all kinds of information on the Google Drive for that particular property. I can go on there. There's already a notes page with all the things I already asked her to put on, which is amazing. So it just really makes life easy using all this technology. I don't know what I would be doing 20 years ago without all these systems.
Yeah,
You'd be like just like picking up the phone, sending faxes.
yeah.
We
Well,
are
and
we are very lucky.
also on Google Drive too, because I've just kind of done this as we went along, but you have we have a sellers folder, and then within that folder, we have each different seller and what property they have. And then when you click on that, you have your listing docs, your transaction docs, photos, videos, miscellaneous, inspections. And I feel like in the beginning, well, Paul didn't only teach me about real estate, he taught me like everything, like control C, control V, like all the little things that just save so much time and make you more tech savvy. But that's not what I was trying to get at. On Google Drive, when you have all those different folders, it just makes everything feel so much more organized and everything has a place. And then again, going back to the systems that Paul had made before I even started, that helps me too, because then it eliminates all the questions that I have to ask Paul. Because even though he tells me, and again, that's why it was important to record things in the beginning, because like if you hear something one time, it is hard, especially when you're starting at a new job where you know nothing,
Yeah,
to remember every single thing you say. And I don't want to be standing there with a notepad like
yeah.
all day long. And so
Hmm.
having those recordings to refer back to, or those systems in place with step by step like every detailed instruction. That was really, really helpful. Now I don't really have to refer back to them all the time, but I do occasionally. And then, like I was saying on Trello, those checklists that we have for each transaction, I do that every time
Yeah.
just to make sure, I'm doing everything I need to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think again, I did so much back end work before
Yeah.
Maggie came onto the team. It was a lot of work and it
Yeah.
was a lot of hours. So what I did is I created all these workflows for each thing. So if there was a price reduction, I wanted a workflow. If there was a new listing, I wanted a
Yeah.
workflow. A seller escrow, a buyer escrow. Like I think we have like 5 to 6 or 7 different workflows for different types of situations. So
Yeah.
whenever there's a price reduction, boom, she goes on that list. She gets things signed. She has to put it here. We have to go to the MLS. We got to do that. We got to change the website. There's all these
Yeah.
things, right? And if you don't have these workflows, you really forget about all the small things that you shouldn't forget about. Because if you forget to change the price on the website, which may not be that big of a deal, but if your client sees that, they're going to say, "What's like you're just dropping the ball, right?"
Yeah. Right.
And Kylie Johnson says, "Where do you save the workflows?" Those workflows I created on a spreadsheet on Google Docs,
Hmm.
but we transferred all those workflows onto Trello. So now if we have a new listing, boom, Maggie just hits a button and then they all pop up right there
Yeah.
for that thing, which is awesome.
Another thing too about Trello, just how easy it is to use, is when Paul at first was like, "Hey, copy and paste these and put them on Trello." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, there might be 50 different cards needed for one workflow." And that just, I mean, I'll do it. Of course, it just takes a lot of time. And all I had to do was copy and paste the list and then hit enter, and Trello recognizes that they're different cards. And so that just saves so much time. And then also on Trello, there are, it's called Butler, and it's like an automation type process. And so you can say, like, always we got another question, always label this card this color. And it just helps you organize everything, especially if you're a visual person. It helps you keep yourself organized and makes everything easier.
Yeah, no, it's great. And the thing is, over time, we've really changed things. So it's not like we're always, R&Ding things, we're like, all right, what's working better? What's not efficient?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to waste time, I don't want
Yeah.
to
No.
we don't like, that's like the one thing that we don't have a lot of.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that we're very efficient with everything we do.
Yeah.
So I don't like to have Maggie do busy work. That's the last thing I wanted her to do. Because I used
Right.
to hate doing that when I was, in her position, 10 years ago. Um, let's see here. We got some questions, some comments. Dean, my friend from semester season. Well done, guys. Continuous improvement, absolutely. Dean, or Dean, he has his own business, so he does very well. Your boyfriend says, I don't know if you already covered this, but Paul, why did you want to start working in real estate? Well, my mom worked in real estate when I first started. And this is right after college. I didn't really know what to do. I had done a 9 to 5 job, right like the semester before I graduated for like 3 months during the summertime, and I really hated it. I didn't like the 9 to 5 kind of corporate thing. It wasn't my thing, having a boss. Um, so I was working for my dad like after college for a few months, and I knew that I didn't want to do that kind of work, but my mom said, "Hey, do you want to help me in real estate?" I saw that she was doing well, and it was 2006 at this point, so it was almost the peak of the market. And I said, "Sure, I'll get into it and see if I like it." And then now we're here. I started obviously in Rancho Cucamonga, a much different market. We're in a much higher end market here, which is great, and I love it. But either way, I mean, real estate is great wherever you go.
Yeah.
I know people that are selling $300,000 houses and they're making over $1 million, right?
Yeah.
So there's growth potential wherever you go. I mean, you can make a lot of money in real estate. Let's see here. Any advice for finding a team to join with no experience? Thanks for the live, Ellen. I would go on Zillow, look for the team that has the most sales. Talk to them, see if they're looking to hire. You obviously want to be on a team that's successful. They may not be the person that has the most sales, because if you go on my Zillow compared to other agents, I might not have the most sales, but
Yeah.
I'm very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Any advice for okay? Can I hire you? You hire me? You hire me? Yes, Steve.
You're hired.
I'm dropping off my assistant at Maggie's. Make her a pro. Keep it up,
You
guys.
got
Do
it.
more of these. I'm calling a client. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining. We've been here for almost an hour, which is, I think, the longest IG live. Thanks, Mom, for watching. She's had a lot of nice clients. She said,
Aw.
thanks to you, Maggie. We were able to go sailing, and Maggie closed 2 deals for me last week. So she does show properties for me. She
Yeah.
does meet with clients. She's very hands-on with my clients. So whenever I meet with a client, she's always copied on it. I always tell them that she's my operations manager. So I really want my client to feel like Maggie is me. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I make the decisions, but if I'm not available, I want them to ask Maggie, and Maggie knows the answer, right?
Right.
So it's
Right.
really important to whoever you hire to really be part of your team. That way, you can go on vacation, and you can feel
Yeah.
confident that your assistant or your operations manager is going to take care of business, and your clients feel comfortable with that person. I know one of our clients,
This is so funny.
said very nice things about Maggie. She's like, "Oh man, I love Maggie more than you do," and I'm like,
That's
"Well,
because I
that's
don't
great."
have the hard conversations.
It's true. It's true. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming. We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions about hiring, onboarding, anything that we talked about today, feel free
Yeah.
to reach out. We're always here to help and to provide value. So thanks for
Yeah.
coming, Maggie. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everybody. Thanks,
Talk
Paul, for
later.
having me. And just reach out if you have any questions at all, need help with Trello, Slack, or even just resume tips. I never thought of myself as somebody who was good at resumes, but there is a way. So
Yes, yes. And Missy Flip Brick says you're both pretty. Well, thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll end on that note.
Have a good night,
All
everybody.
right.
Thanks, Paul.
See you, Maggie. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.